He only gave his wife a look and she immediately got into the car with him, ready to try for another baby. But halfway through, they suddenly realized their daughter was pressed up against the window, watching them. When they saw she was about to open the door, Jong-gu panicked, yanked up his pants, and bolted out. That night, after his daughter fell asleep, Jong-gu went into her room. He found her diary filled with warped, dark scribbles. Then he lifted her pajama top and saw that her outer thigh was covered in festering sores. They looked exactly like the sores on the villagers who had died from that strange illness. The next day, things got even worse. His daughter, who normally hated fish, was now stuffing fish into her mouth like she'd lost her mind. His mother-in-law told Jong-gu that his daughter was probably possessed, and it all began with a horrific case. A married couple had been murdered in their home, and the killer was found dead in the hallway. His body was covered in disgusting, pus-filled sores. Police also found evidence that the killer had performed some kind of ritual before the attack. Back at the station, Jong-gu's co-worker brought up the case again. He told Jong-gu about a rumor that had been spreading through the village. A few days earlier, a local hunter went up the mountain and saw a Japanese man eating a dead deer raw. Before long, the Japanese man noticed him. The hunter was so terrified that he froze. When he looked again, the Japanese man was already standing right in front of him. Just hearing it made Jong-gu's skin crawl. The next day, a second tragedy hit the village. A fire swallowed an entire household. The only surviving woman completely lost her mind. She even grabbed Jong-gu by the throat. Before he could process what was happening, he spotted the rumored Japanese man in the crowd. He had a faint smile on his face as if this scene were his handiwork. As the investigation continued, Jong-gu learned that the woman had been assaulted by the Japanese man. That was why she'd gone insane. Jong-gu became convinced both cases were connected to him. He and his co-worker immediately drove up the mountain to look for the man. In the forest, they found the ground littered with animal remains and broken bones. They reached the Japanese man's house and what they saw inside was shocking. The rooms were packed with ritual items, and in a small side room, the walls were covered with photos from the murder scene. Then a black dog in the yard broke loose and lunged at them. But after a moment, the dog suddenly stopped barking. Jong-gu realized the Japanese man had come back. When the man walked in and saw the place had been ransacked, he just stared at them without saying a word. On the way back, Jong-gu's co-worker stayed silent the entire time, like he'd become a different person. That night, Jong-gu noticed something was wrong with his daughter too. She also seemed like a different person. Her voice was no longer gentle, and her thigh was covered in those festering sores.
오밤중에 딸내미 치마 걷어 올리고 뭐 드냐고. 말을 흐라고 이 시벌놈아. 말을 흐라고 이 개새끼야! 아 씨발! 야!